If you've ever wondered how some of your favorite professional athletes, your players on your Boston teams, found their way to their teams, today's guest has the answer to that question for at least one of those teams. Harrison Slutsky, class of '08, is the Director of Professional Scouting for the Boston Red Sox, your Boston Red Sox. He graduated from Thayer in 2008. During his time here, he was an honor roll student who played varsity basketball and baseball and participated in the annual senior project trip to Peru. Following Thayer, he attended Columbia University, where he pitched for the baseball team and graduated with a degree in economics and political science. In the same month he graduated, he started working for the Red Sox as a baseball operations intern. He interned through the 2012 and 2013 seasons before being hired full-time in 2014. He worked in advanced scouting for the next 3 years before moving on to the pro scouting department in 2017 as assistant director. In 2019, he was promoted to his current role as director of pro scouting. He lives in Boston with his wife, Kathy, also a Thayer graduate from the class of 2010. And please put your hands together to welcome Harrison to the stage. Okay. So I think I told you the way this works. We're going to put a 10-minute timer up on the screen, and we're going to stay to a nice, disciplined 10 minutes. So welcome.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanks for having me.
holidays to
Great
you.
to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Good to see everybody.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump into my first question. So you've been with the Red Sox nearly 13 years. I mentioned sort of the progression a little bit of where you started and where you are, but can you talk a little bit about that journey from starting as an intern to being in this role now where you're helping to influence who's playing on the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I got extremely lucky to work for a hometown team here, but started out 2 weeks out of college as an intern, doing anything and everything, right? And no task was too small. Just trying to, be a sponge, learn, and take it day by day. And you look up, and we're entering the 14th season I've been with the organization. So it's been a long journey, but this is going to sound really cheesy, but I'm going to say it anyway. I grew up a Red Sox fan, grew up here, grew up in these seats, and always felt like I really wish somebody was working their ass off to make sure the Red Sox are good. And so now I feel a responsibility to be that person and hopefully can do a better job than we've done the last couple of years. So.
Okay, all right. So just because I imagine a number of our students are thinking internships, whether it's in high school or college, like how did you actually get that internship? Was there a connection? Was there a Thayer connection? Did you just apply?
Yeah, so at the time, again, this all came together like 2 weeks after college. So I was playing baseball at Columbia, as was mentioned. Wasn't very good. Terrible self-evaluator, too. Thought I was good. But, I didn't know what I wanted to do next. So like many of you, and honestly, I've gotten some notes from Thayer students or Thayer alums over the years. I started reaching out to my network. And through applications to different sports teams, one thing led to another, and I ended up at least with an interview. I think it was good timing. They had somebody leave. I was local. I just graduated, and honestly, it was a 2-month thing to start. So basically, come in May, and you're out in August, at the end of August, and that turned into, can you please stay a little longer? Yep. And that turned into, can you stay for the next 13 years?
And so one lesson of that, keep your network close, your Thayer network and your college network too, yeah?
100%.
Okay, so you're working your ass off to get the Red Sox to be into a better place. How do you understand what a talented athlete is? Like when you think about what do you do to figure out who the next best great players are going to be? Like how do you figure that out?
They play at Thayer Academy on the back.
There you go. All right, that could be right.
Yeah. No, I mean a lot goes into that. Even beyond baseline talent, to play in Boston requires a special kind of human between the ears, and so we try to do as much homework on that front as well, to be able to handle the pressure that comes with the bright lights of Fenway, and all the media scrutiny and all the crazy fans here in a good way. So that's a big part of it, but yeah, I mean, look, baseball is advanced in the sense of all the statistical information we have. Sure. And so I'm in the acquisition group, the scouting group. So we're really trying to use everything we have at our disposal. So we have a team of analysts. We have projection models that tell us how good a player should be. And then we try to look at the subjective and how it all comes together and kind of put the puzzle together.
Sure. Does AI play any role in the work you're doing right now, or do you think it will be at some point?
It's starting to. Trying to figure out how we can automate things to make our lives easier. So I will still work my ass off, but maybe I can be a little bit more efficient. So yeah, there are probably ways to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. So there's the statistics part of this, and then you talked a little about the human element, right? Yeah. handle the pressure and the lights and the fans. Like, how do you figure that part out?
Yeah, that's we consider ourselves like the CIA wing of the Red Sox, where we try to talk to as many people as we can, try to find character references, make sure we're really digging, because any player we acquire, it can't just be on a whim. There has to be a thorough process behind it, and that's something that I really take pride in.
When you think about some of the success stories that you've been involved with, like, and I mean, you can name names or choose not to name names. I don't want to make you do that, but when you think about sort of some of the people you've been able to bring to the organization, like, you talk a little bit about what that process looked like, and maybe if you want to talk about some of the stories.
Yeah, I always take pride in like the smaller ones that nobody will ever hear of, so they're not as exciting. But we've gotten a couple, sort of under the radar signings and trades to the big leagues and be contributors, and those are the ones I take the most pride in, because that's really our department, unearthing an undervalued talent that might have been in the minor league system elsewhere, may have been in independent ball. Just somebody that was totally off the radar that we were able to bring into the org, thrive in our development environment, and reach the big leagues with us. That I take a lot of pride in that. There's been a few of those.
Yeah. So if anyone in this group today wants to do something like you're doing now, what's the advice you could give them? I know there are a lot of different pathways to get to where you were, but like any ideas or any advice you would have for people here?
Yeah, I mean, I think be as well-rounded as you can be. So what does that mean? I think like take advantage of all Thayer has to offer here. That's sounds oversimplistic, but I really mean it. The best resumes I see aren't just like so baseball focused. They have a wide range of experiences and interests, right? And so I think specifically as it relates to baseball, but if you're really that interested in working in a sport, there's so much publicly available information out there. I would just suggest like find a question and try to answer it, and create a project and do some independent work and teach yourself the skills that you need to answer that question, and then have that ready and presentable. I think when I see resumes, I see a lot of great resumes, but if there's some work attached to that, it really distinguishes it.
Yeah. So I imagine growing up you had some heroes on the Red Sox, whether players or people who were involved with the organization. So I imagine you've gotten a chance to either meet or work with some of those people who you looked up to. So anyone you can share some stories about being able to sort of meet your heroes or meet the people who you admired?
Yeah, I feel like the fandom went away pretty quick because it just became work. Like 12, 13, I was 22, 23 years old and just grinding as much as I could. Having said that, in 2016, part of my journey led me to travel with the major league team, the Red Sox, you all know, every day of the season. So every single game, 3 nights here, 3 nights there. I only did that for 1 year, but it was an incredible experience getting to work directly in the clubhouse with coaches and players, much different than what I do now. Having said that, that was David Ortiz's last year. Okay. And so as far as that question goes, I can't think of a better example than being with him every day. And getting to see how his preparation, and then the pinch me moments were when he would come up and say, hey, what is this pitcher going to throw to me tonight? And I was like, why are you asking me this question?
Right.
So,
awesome.
yeah, but
that's great.
yeah, that satisfies that, I think.
So when you think about the people here at Thayer during your time, teachers, coaches, mentors, maybe even like fellow students, like the people who influenced you and helped you become the person you are today and having the success you're having, who are the people who come to mind?
Yeah, well, I mentioned this earlier. My closest friends still to this day are my Thayer crew. There's 10 of us, and we all stay super close. One of my closest friends is with the Patriots in a scouting role, so I like to think that all started here at Thayer. As far as teachers go, I was just giving Mr. Cedrone some grief because apparently he tried to block a shot this morning or yesterday or something. But I remember, I played varsity basketball as well. Yep. Loved basketball almost more than I love baseball. But JV basketball my freshman year with Mr. Cedrone was a formative experience, just in terms of structure, discipline, getting yelled at. No, it was great. So I think about that. I think about Matt McGurk, who's not here, but he was a huge influence as the former AD and baseball coach. Yeah. If
there's one piece of advice you would give to your Thayer high school self, knowing what you know now at this age, what would it be? Yeah, I think I kind of alluded to it a little earlier. Something I wish I did more of. I'm not sure I quite followed the words I'm about to give, but go the extra mile in terms of taking advantage of what this incredible place has to offer you. You're super lucky to be here.
whether that's an extra club or trying a different sport or an instrument or something that is outside of your comfort zone, this is the place to do that. And I think it'll start to get towards that well-rounded person that will be applying for jobs in 5-6 years. So that's what I would say.
Let's see, got a little more than a minute. So let me ask you the obvious question. How are we looking for next year?
Better. We made a big trade last week for a good pitcher, so got to have those. And gonna try to sign a few more guys. So better. I think the arrow's up.
Okay. And when you said things that you had wished you had done, did you ever perform on a stage like this when you were there?
No, I would. That was way too far outside my comfort zone.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Ms. Hines, there's always an opportunity, right, for an alum to come back and maybe do a cameo role.
Yeah, happy to. I can't say what I just said and not do it, so I'm in.
And last thing I'll ask you, why do you choose to stay connected to Thayer? I mean, you've graduated for a while. I'm sure college keeps you connected in some ways too, but why choose to be a part of this community this number of years out?
I went to middle school here. I went to high school here. My wife's from here. All my best friends are from here. I'm Thayer through and through, and so much of who I am, the foundation was here. And so that's a no-brainer for me. Yeah.
Well, we are now at 8 seconds, so I'm going to end up by just thanking you so much for being here and staying connected to our community and wishing you and the Red Sox all the best as we go into next season a little bit later this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate
man.
it. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you, everybody.